Bah-weep-Graaaaagnah, weep ninny bong, of all the places in the universe, and you of course stumbled upon a man in a shirt. Thanks for joining us today. So today, I have a little bit of stuff planned for us. We're going to go into the next room over actually, and I'm going to just make some music live and explain my process and everything that goes on with that. So, I don't know, had a lot of coffee today, thought it'd be a good idea. Can't go out and run because it's too hot, my back hurts. Two excuses I shouldn't do, but we're going to have some fun today. We're going to be productive anyway. So I just wanted to start the whole process, have you follow me into the other room, which we're going to right now, and do everything completely from scratch. Just to make sure we don't miss anything. Of course, I got a t-shirt on today. I got two shirts on today. So that's a special for everybody listening. One of them is chameleon teal, chameleon purple, whatever you call it. It's one of those ones that switches colors. It's pretty cool. If you ever wonder, I get most of my shirts at ARC, mostly pants at ARC, but this one I got at ARC and it was a really sweet deal. So if you don't go to thrift shops for clothes and stuff, you are on the wrong side of history. And I did this before Macklemore and before all that. Ever since I was a kid, I've been getting clothes there. They are not paying for this podcast though, mind you, so maybe I should not be so talkative about them. Alright, so anyway, I'm in the other room. I got the computer started up here. Like I said, my laptop broke, so any of you crying foul, I want you to know I'm in my parents' basement. I'm using their home desktop computer. I found out recently I can get the software on there and be able to use it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to open it right now. It's called Ignite, Ignite. And so, I started making an album again, I guess is the exciting announcement of this. I want it to be a rap album, but I don't know if I'm going to have the confidence or really the skill, honestly, to do it. But I've been working on beats since the 10th, September 10th, 2018. It's now September 12th, 2018. And I'm proud to announce I've got 10 songs ready to be rapped over. Or if that doesn't happen, then of course we just get a new Lucy City album. Alright, so we're looking at Ignite right now. Usually I make my music in my headphones. I've got the big green Razer headphones you see everywhere. I like those the best for everything. They make the music sound better. They make everything sound better. A lot of computers, when they listen to my music on playback, they don't have quite the speakers to hear all of that. So I think if you want to hear it the best, you listen to it through good headphones, and I can't recommend those enough. I've always loved them. They've been lasting me a long time. Alright, so we start off, we got tempo at 120 as it always starts, time signature 4/4, key sig, C major. Tempo is really the only thing I messed with out of there. I got a control bar over here where I can have 114, 118, 116, 132. Sometimes I put it 132, otherwise it doesn't quite sound right. I am using a Launchpad S for this, which I've mentioned before. I'm not a big fan of making music with the Launchpad S. I'm missing a lot of drum pattern, different drums on here. I don't know how to program it. I don't know if Ignite allows it to be programmed or anything. It's just stuff I don't look into. I'm turning the tempo down to 110 here. Or just 100. Let's go 100. I don't really care much about tempo. I feel like a lot of Lucy City songs end up sounding fast. I'm a very fast person anyway, so that doesn't surprise me. And right now, do I not have sound? Let's see here. Never tell if it's the speaker, if it just didn't like how it was plugged in. We got a phantom fan turning on. That was actually a little scary. Let's see. So it exists. Definitely exists. There we go. I don't know if y'all can hear that. We'll blast it really loud. We'll let my neighbors hear it today. Let's see here. So usually, not always. Usually I start with a drum. Ooh, I like this one. So this one's called Ibiza. I like this one. Usually I start with a little drum riff, and that just really helps to spark energy on adding whatever I add later, because it kind of just builds the groove to start. If not starting with drums, I'll just start with like a synthesizer, I guess. Usually, it's sometimes a bass. I don't know, I usually try to keep in those words because they feel like it builds the groove fast and easy, so it's quick to hear. So I always try to see what different sounds I do have. And I'm missing a lot, it looks like. Oh, I love this. So I didn't know this for the longest time on my old one, but I have 2 kicks on a lot of drums, and so we're gonna add this drum for now. It's not uncommon for me to add a lot of different drums and use different elements from different drum sets, and or it's not uncommon to have like 2, 3, 4 different kick drums doing different parts. Sometimes I'll even have kicks and snares doing different parts all playing together in one song, as you may have heard. I just think it makes it sound interesting. Alright, so we're just playing around here. Man, that one sounds a lot louder than all the rest, huh? I like that. We're going to stick with that right now. We're going to get a beat going there. So yeah, we'll start with something simple there. Usually just play it back a couple times, start trying to add things. If stuff's just not forming, if it's not adding, I usually just, try not to ditch it, but sometimes, you gotta make sure it. See, I love that. I love little random snare hits hitting different than they should. Maybe it's all starting to sound the same in Lucy's, who knows. Cymbals is where I used to get myself in trouble. I used to add a lot of cymbals to stuff. Oh, I love notes you can hold like that. So that's a drum cymbal of some sort. So let's see if we can add that in here. Okay. Add a little extra kick at the end just so sometimes it'll go to a new time staple, and so I just want to make sure to delete that note so I don't have too much playing. Got both of them in 4 bars. We're looking good right now. Let's listen back. Cool, sounding good so far. I might add some of this different kick in this, give it a little more groove. Let's see what we can add here. Sometimes I'll play it a couple times over and just keep the part that sounds good. Sometimes it gets weird. Back when I used to make stuff with other people, we didn't like the tempo thing, so we would turn down our mono. What is that called? Anyway, metronome. Jeez. Yeah, we would turn off the metronome because clearly we don't like it here in this city. But it really was making... I was really frustrated one day because I was trying to hit the drum kicks, and every time it sounded like I didn't know how to play drums. And I was like, hey, I know I don't know theory, but I'm not that bad, right? So let's hear this real quick. Ooh, that doesn't quite match up how I want it. Let's see how just one sounds. Ooh, just quite not there. Okay, let's try it again. Alright, so let's hear it again. It's still sounding weird to me. I don't know what is good or not good here. So I wonder if we turn off this old one. So if we cut this one down, we're going to kill that note there. Ooh, sometimes notes attach themselves to each other, and I don't like that. So yes, the software is what came with my original little keyboard, and I've just really dug it ever since. It's not the most involved, it's not the most professional per se, but I think it sounds really good, and it gets me a lot of sounds that I like. I could make it sound like studio instruments. It could make it on Pro Tools. I made a couple songs on Pro Tools before, but this is just more fun, and that's the only reason I'm doing this, so that's why it remains. Let's listen. Not bad. Add that drum kick that I hate that everyone uses. Now let's add them all together. Yeah, I think that first drum's just going to have to stay silent for now. We're going to keep these 2 and 2. We're going to multiply them a little bit. Oop, we won't multiply them both. So that was just me freestyling a little bit. Let's see here. It's a little something like that. I just always add little random little bits and pieces here. Let's add it all together and see how it sounds. Okay, it's sounding good. I think one note here. Let's see if we can't move it there. Let's see if that sounds any better for me. Let's check. Yeah, sounds much better there to me anyway. So we've got the starting of a drum, and this can go anywhere now. I can either add more drum and add 50 other cymbals and kicks and different things going on. Right now I think I like the synths. There's a lot of different synths. Basses kind of start sounding samey to me. Let's see what we got synth-wise. And then, a lot of times I'll add effects. Like, let me check real quick on this drum. I can add effects, equalizer, compressor, distortion, delay, and add tons of different stuff there. A lot of what you hear in Lucy Cities is bass booster on drums, because I really like that. When it rattles your brain around between your eyes and stuff, it's so good. And again, you get that out of the headphones. You don't always get that out of speakers. A lot of times it sounds like your speaker's puttering if you try to play some of this song. It's kind of fun. It's fun to hear the different interpretations different speakers have on the music. Equalizer, yeah, that's where I add the bass booster. Not much else do I add in there ever. And delays, I like a lot of random stuff. Distortion can get really spooky. I only try to add little things, and you can go a long way with a little distortion. Some Good Kid, Mad City there. All right, let's keep listening here. Kind of like having that clapping there. Let's see what it sounds like. Okay, so let's now listen to clapping everything. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna experiment here real quick and see what it's like taking out. Is it? Nope, that one's fine. That one's fine. So it must be this one up here. It's not. Where's my kick at? Or my snare, I should say. Let me... Oh, did I add that in the third one, maybe? Yeah. So let's just for fun take out that obnoxiously loud snare that we might keep because it's not that bad. So we're going to delete that top row. Not bad. Not the most original thing I've ever done, but nothing ever is, right? Alright, so now we're still looking at snares here too as well. Ooh, spook's fun. Let's see if we got anything here. Try again. Right there, I'm just doing 8 bars because that's just what my drum kick's at right now. Sometimes I'll freestyle way over. Sometimes I'll just do 1 to 2, 4. Some that kind of fits into 8 a little bit easier than having to cut and switch things depending on what the song's doing. Some songs, as you'll hear, which sounds like a really good groove, will get offset and then start, chasing itself and doing weird things. It's all intentional. but that's not the case here yet. So let's see here. Some instruments do this thing that I call sabotaging themselves, where like as you heard there, if I hit another thing, it's going to take away from a note that's already playing from that instrument unless I add a second spook synth. That's another trick I like to use in some music, just to have music to have its own instrument sabotage itself, because sometimes you get really cool sounds. That's, I think, the reason I don't like music theory as much, because you can do it, it's going to sound how it's supposed to. But this one, I make more music more by listening than thinking about it. You know what I mean? If it sounds good, keep it. You know, it doesn't sound good to everyone. I understand that, but ooh, you've probably heard that in almost every Lucy City song. I love the musical tin. It's over here in the FX section. It's so good. It adds so much to every song, and I love it. And right next to it, we have Neptune's piano. Yeah, see, this isn't like playing a real piano, and I think taking a break from music definitely helps me come back and really want it and be creative more. Because I literally didn't think I was going to be making more music anytime soon, though I had a couple songs of recent, but just keep looking at here. Don't listen to anything in particular, just kind of, if anything jumps out and grabs. Nothing's coming, sometimes I'll just pick some random instruments, put some random effects on them, and just see how it goes. I keep looking at stuff here. And, you know, a lot of this music's honestly made sober. I know you can't hear it in it, but the thing that blows a lot of people's minds, I make most of it sober. If I want to get spooky later, I will, and I'll listen to it. Back when I was getting drunk a lot, there was a lot of nights where I would just spend the whole night getting drunk and making music, and that's how you end up with so much music, I guess. But yeah, those were some good times. You get really absorbed in it when you're on some sort of influence. Not to say that people should be on one. Sometimes making the music's enough. I've had days where that's just the high for the day, and it's good. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, see, some of these sound really abrasive, and sometimes it doesn't even sound abrasive until you've made it into a song. So that, you know, sometimes I'll add something, and later after I make it into a song, I'm like, uh-oh, that actually sounds almost obnoxious. Ooh, yeah, especially with how high up we go. I wonder how this one's called The Gentleman. I wonder how some of these get their names, these synths, or maybe it's common stuff that I should know. Ooh, sometimes I'll play a little riff of something, I'm like, oh, I added that in this song, interesting, and then sometimes it's hard to make a new song and you have the old song in your head, and the drum on Spaz Funk, that was that snare from earlier, that's all I kept thinking this whole time was that in the Spaz Funk drum, which is one of my favorite drums I've ever written. Ooh, I like that roomy delay. It gets a little moody. Oh yeah, we're adding effects onto that Gentleman synth right now, just kind of see what a distortion sounds like. But yeah, it really makes them louder, and you can turn down each individual instrument. Something I've been doing a little more on these recent beats. Where is those? Here they are. So yeah, we got 10 songs right now ready, and I'm excited. They sound really good. They're more like hip-hop beats and not as much of songs. Kind of, you've been hearing Lucy's recently. You know, the real difference is sometimes I'll be making a beat and I just like the instruments so much that I'll just pause everything I'm doing and I'll make a brand new song with those instruments and then just put them together. It's a fun little way to... Ooh, that's some moody. Alright, let's listen. about 8 bars there. Just kind of a little random stuff here with the gentleman. And that spook's a little loud, so I think I'm going to mute the spook for a second. If that doesn't get me in trouble saying that on a radio. And it's not a radio, it's YouTube. Same thing. All right, let's listen to this. Sound bad. So I like the idea. Okay, I want to stop. I like the idea of doubling this. The spook's not heard the first time. I like it heard the second time. Keep the gentleman going. What was this drum riff? Was this the old? Sometimes if I have a riff like that, like we wrote earlier, sometimes I will just throw that as the first part of this song that has nothing to do with the song. It's kind of cool to me, you know, and I really like sometimes when you hear a song and the first 2 seconds have nothing to do with the rest of it and random stuff, but let's hear this real quick. So we might actually get weird, and we might make that first drum riff separate entity song here real quick. So we're going to put that there. Make it a little longer here. That's what she said. Alright, so we're going to use the same instruments. We're using Gentleman and Spook and the Ibiza drum. Starting it here. Let me just piddle around here for a second. Sounding good. Alright, that's not good enough for me, and some of you out there, whoa, those guys got standards. Yes. I'll drink of water, always got water when I'm working. It's very easy to get dehydrated and just locked into sitting here in this one spot to fixing things for an hour or two, so try to keep some water next to me at all times. Let's try this. Okay, so we might have found something here. Let's see. Okay, I like that little spookiness, so let's try. So that was weird. I lost the instrument at one point there. Like I said, this trackpad might have just not had it. Something programmed there. A little obnoxious. A little more obnoxious than it's worth. Let's try the same thing with the Gentleman, though. That's not bad. I like them. I like the sounds of that. We're going to clean this up a bit. I don't always clean it up a bit, but when there's obvious little blips and stuff, you know, I will. Sometimes I'll add those little blips just to really make a song crazy. Like I tell people, I used to actually really try to make a song people would like. Then I learned you can't release good music or bad music. You can only release music. How it's interpreted is based on the user, so I don't really have a say in it once it's given to public, so just make the stuff I find fun. And the less people are listening, the more ridiculous I want to make it, because the more fun it was for me to just really see what music can be. You know, when you're not bound by musical theory or fans or money, it can be anything. And it's one of the ways you get so many songs, let me tell you. Alright, so let's listen back. I think I want to We're gonna add an extra bar, and I think I'm gonna keep these things going because I really like that last sound it makes, but I don't know how long. Some notes hold forever, some don't. Do we want to go even farther? Let's see. Yeah, we definitely want that to keep going. Maybe to there and there. We're going to pull this guy forward as well. We're going to pull this guy forward. I don't think we necessarily needed to. So if we have that as a 4-bar, we're going to have to delete a lot of these drums. Do we have 3 intros of it? Do we have 2? Let's see here. So we wanted cow, cow, cow. And let's listen to it with the rest of the song with a 3-part. Not bad, we got a little fun intro there. I really like how gross that sounds at first. You know, it sounds like you're not playing the right chords together, and then it really opens up that beautiful hold. Those 2 ending parts especially, I think, are really good. So we might actually try to add something like that here. So let's make more of the drum from earlier. Let's mute the gentleman from earlier. Home row is now. Let's double, triple ya just for recording's sake, excuse me. Trying a couple little random things there. Seeing how it looks. Looks like we got a little extra long there. Everything else is looking pretty spooky. Ooh, that's gonna start too soon or too late. It's a weird one. Can we move? Okay, we can just move it. That's weird. It's really weird actually. So we're gonna put that. We're gonna say forget you. I don't think there's anything else too spooky right now. Let's just listen to how it sounds. No, sounds okay. I just don't really like that myself. I think, do we want to just get crazy and switch the drums though? We can have that go there. We can get rid of you and you. And let's just get really spooky and add another random drum riff into the mix. Find, where are my drums? See how that sounds for beginning. I don't usually start with the cymbals, so that's gonna be an interesting one. Okay, I actually like that. I understand 100% that that doesn't sound right and that I should fix that first part, but that's not how I do it here. So we're gonna add make 16 bar of that. Let's go here. And I really like this kick. Do I want a different snare? Okay, let's We'll try that snare. It sounds a little obnoxious. That snare's not bad. Okay, not the best, not the worst, somewhere in between. Let's see how it sounds with the cymbal. I forgot I had everything muted over here, so that's why we didn't hear the cymbal on that recording playback. Let's unmute. Ooh, doesn't that get frustrating when you hit it so perfectly and then... Let's try that. Okay, that second part starts too soon, I think, is the problem. So if we move y'all's down, get rid of you, get rid of you. Let's see what we got here. Might not work, fellas. Oh, that's probably why it's not working out. So I kind of like that. I don't know if I like it enough to make the rest of the song sound like that, so that might be like a weird little intro thing we do here. Let's actually do that. Let's delete you, delete you, delete you. We're going to shorten you in half. So yeah, this is something I haven't done on this new album yet, of making a random song with random different parts, so I'm excited. Woo! Only dogs can hear that one. Screwed up a little couple times there. I think I like this one here. I can see it and it looks pretty good. Let's see if it sounds good looped. A little fast, but we're gonna maybe remedy that. Let's see if this drum adds anything to that actually. Okay, so that's jumping back to the beginning of the song. It does an instant loop. So we're gonna add you here. Okay, let's see what this is gonna sound like if I... So we get to the end of the last part. Goes into that drum we just added now. So this one I might actually sabotage because I like the sound, but that's not going to sound fun if you just keep listening to that, I don't think. Maybe that's my problem, is I don't keep the good things and leave all the bad things. I don't know why I talk like that when I'm making music. I normally never talk like that. Maybe that's all I talk like. Wouldn't that be wild? Maybe if I listen back to one of these, I'm just talking like this the whole time. Hope not. I'm sorry for you all if that's the case. Alright. Another sip of water, scooted back, so maybe you don't have to listen to it. But I'm still going to let you know the gentleman going. I think we want to sabotage the spook, though. Let's see, how do we want to do this? Okay, that's the deepest. Okay, we got a pretty deep one there. Let's see if this can do anything cool. gonna just jump to the beginning of the song as it usually does. I played a little bit longer than it should go because of that. It should go way longer because of that though, because we can add a couple of the regular spooks in that. For those of you just turning in, spook is the name of the instrument. I do not want to go to jail today. Let's see here. So we'll see how random that sounds. I've added more Spook and Ibiza to that new spook, and we're going to add some gentleman spook to it. So. Okay, so. The same thing every time. That's the one thing about music theory that we could I wonder if we put this here and meet the spooks, see what happens. What if we can sabotage it again? Where's my spook at? Let's try to sabotage it with just this. I like it so far. We're gonna end this over here. Okay. Should we do regular spook? We do that, or we can add that there. Really spooky with the spook. Alright, so let's listen to the end of the first part into that next part and just see the weird transition. So okay, I'm gonna try this real. Oh, I want to mute you. I want to try this real quick though. Okay, so we're trying to play the same riff that we. Weak. Try to just play the same riff that we had on. Darn, why is that the case? Okay, so we're gonna play the same riff we had from earlier on the gentleman one, but we want this to keep going. I don't know why. That's why you always gotta tap one extra note sometimes so it holds it. But it's not hard in this software. You can just drag the note. It's nice. No, it's just little square grids too. It's so easy to make music on here. Like, I've contemplated, you know, going the Fruity Loops live or going the straight Pro Tools live or something. It's not for me. This software gets it. So we're gonna throw this at the end. I might even have to drag that out more. Let's see. So we are going to make that just a hair longer. We're going to make that bar longer probably. We'll make it quite to the end. But that, I think, is going to wrap up this song. So let's see. So we want to save this. I haven't saved yet, and that's typical to not save till the end. We're going to open Phase Ghosts. Ever since I learned Gorillas go in phases with their stuff, that's what I do. Now, I'll probably call this Spook Gentleman Spook. Sometimes I name it after instruments, sometimes it's just random. The biggest problem I face is naming it something random and then naming the actual song when I export it here in a second, something different. Makes it hard to find a lot of songs that I made. Gentleman Spook. And we're going to save that. And then we're going to go up here to the two people talking. We're going to go to the WAV. We're going to click on the file. We'll call this GS Spook. Because now I'm exporting it as a WAV file. So put that to the desktop. We'll save. And so yeah, there is one song in the bank. That was pretty short, to be honest. Songs usually take a little bit longer, depending on what kind of song and all of that. Let's see here. It's got that little dip too. I like it. So it's got a good little bop to spit over a rap too. It's really that drum beat that gets them. Alright, we're gonna listen to this. We're gonna finish listening to this. Still good to rap over if you ask me. So there we go, we got another song done. There you got a fantastic new exclusive look at what might be on Ghost's new album, what might be just a Lucy City new album. But let's not stop there. Let's do another one. We're going to click new. I can make a couple in a night sometimes not anything good's coming out. It's just the way of art and the way it works, unfortunately. So we're going to... I'm just contemplating the tempo right now. Usually starting out at a faster tempo, it's harder to get everything said in time real quick. Sometimes I'll record fast and then put it to slow. Maybe we'll do something like that actually. Start the tempo at like 200 and then move it down after we've recorded some spiciness. Yeah, and so I focus on this. Sometimes it's not uncommon for me to have a podcast open or just some YouTube video open quietly in the side. That's always just been common practice. Sometimes it makes it hard to hear the music I'm making though, so I don't know why I do it. I think we're looking at drums again right now. Man. Should we just use the same kit as last time? See how many different songs we get? Maybe we'll do that for like a holiday edition of something. Choose like 5 instruments and I have to make as many songs as I can with them. Give me that toy 10. You give me that little music tin and I'll be good. I'll make 1,000 songs. Okay, I screwed up there, but we got 2 good ones. We're gonna delete 4th one. Oh, it starts in the middle. I wonder if that's going to double kick it and how that's going to sound. Let's listen. Cool. So now we're going to drop that down to probably, let's say, 90. 90 is a good one to make a lot of music at. Let's see. It's not bad. Sounds like you're being kicked in the face. I like it. Let's see. Ooh, we know I like the ones you can hold. Yeah, it's a little glitchy. I don't know. We'll see with this one. I don't know. I'm really feeling that one. What is that sound? Getting a little carried away there, playing more bars than I need, but looks like we got it there with the snare. I don't always add bass and snare. I think that's, just a trope. I do like the rattle of that. I almost think I'm going to add another drum. I don't know if I want it to be hands down. I think maybe we'll add the Zombies drum kit. We're going to add some effects for sure. Definitely a widener delay. Going to throw, let's try mono 4 trip. I don't exactly know what all of these do. Let's do mono 8 dot. Let's switch that delay. Let's switch that delay. Let's switch that. See how that sounds with it. Sometimes it sucks with delay, though, is they'll keep delaying forever until it's just ready to give up. Which will be a second here. But let's try it. If we delete that last one, but we'll keep the bar there, but we'll take out notes. That does anything. I don't even know what that really. That's a lot of rat-a-tat. Kind of like that, honestly. So we're gonna make this into a. Let's make it into a 12 bar just so it's all solid. Now here, so they add up. Oh. There goes my adding for the day. That was no good. Okay. So we got that. We got the drums ready. Okay, I'd be a fool not to add some crazy bass like that. So add an extra note. Let's see. I like that. It adds a little rolling random kick coming through. So we're going to keep that. I think I'm going to keep the drums alone for now, and we're going to just get spooky. Let's look in keys. Keys has a lot of stuff, but I feel like a lot of them just sound the same, Like, it's 4 different harpsichords, and they probably don't sound that different. 2 Celestes. Clav Dino Wall. I think I had the night of my life when I first found the Clav Dino Wall, though. Dirty. That sounds dirty like what we're making. Let's try that. Got intense. Alright, let's look at what we got with that, if it's anything good or we got trash in. So we're going to turn that down. We're going to throw it to the left side a little more. I think the second drum could probably be. Turn those both down so they're not as in our face. We're going to save this while I'm thinking about it. This is the problem, is I'm going to save it as something that I probably won't call it once it's all said and done. We'll call it Clav Dino Zombie. We'll just call it Dino Zombie. I know it shouldn't be so sad to call a name Dino Zombie, but today we're just going to have to accept it. Alright. So we'll add that to Reliant. I wonder if this is a sabotaging instrument. Sometimes they don't sabotage, and sometimes they just play multiple parts at the same time, and it's also a good thing. But let's just get random. Okay, so it sounds like it doesn't sabotage itself, so now we got this crazy... So this is going to be one that's probably going to end up being a loop, I can tell, unfortunately. Otherwise, it's just going to be a random buildup of drums and other things like I am known to do. I'm going to turn the mic my way. Maybe you haven't even heard any of this. Maybe you haven't heard any of them. I don't really listen to Amius afterwards, which I should. I mean, I've listened to a couple, but... One time somebody wanted to listen to it in the same room as me. Same room as me and Alex. They wanted to listen to the one we had just recorded. It's really, really awkward to listen to your own podcast, like, right next to people. Oh, gosh. Sorry, I'm getting distracted on the internet, people. This is why I don't like computers. This is why I like Alpha Smart. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh. I really like that. It's one of those ones I could see maybe not liking as much later. Might just get obnoxious with that. So we're going to make it 60 bars long. It's just a big loop right now. Let's save it. Let's just save it as that. We're going to call this one probably good. But we're also going to check real quick and see if tempo is any better at 110. I think this is when we started at with 200 for our tempo. Let's try 110. Definitely a better, slower song. Alright. Select the clip. We're going to continue. We're going to call it Dino Zombie, even though the Hip hop. Continue. Save it to my desktop as always and drag it to another folder because, you know, why save time on menial tasks? I don't know if any of that made sense. Sorry, I was stretching and talking. Let's see what we got here. So we got Dino Zombie. Again, not bad. Something you can rap over for sure if you're not afraid. Alright. So let's open one last new one. Let's just see what happens. We're going to save that. Another thing I like to do is drop pitch, either up or down. Sometimes I do it too much and I end up having, same sounding songs. Ooh, wavetable's not bad. It's got some good sounds. So we're gonna have an old-fashioned orchestra. What's it called? Organ. Organ orchestra. Ooh, the organ orchestra. What a weird name. See, that's the thing is, I thought at one point in life, I thought I was gonna get out of names for naming songs, but they just, they keep finding a name. Okay, I don't want a harpsichord. Let's start with this wavetable, see if we got anything good. Well, that started out alright. Let's see what we got there. I'll make this one simple. Sometimes I don't like having that short of a loop because it gets annoying to listen to a can. Okay. Now we're just getting wild in here. I don't know if I like any of that drum. So do we have any other toms? There's these two toms. Let's see what we can do with these. Woo! Another one to start off on. So if we half that to 2 bars, let's see what we get. Not bad. Add another pop kit. That was the pop kit B. Let's add pop kit A. Only got one drum in each. Kick drum anyway. This is gonna sound weird. This is like probably gonna be another short loop. We gotta find something to do with that WAV so it doesn't just become 4 minutes of the same second clip. So let's just delete that. Well, not delete that. We're gonna mute that, and we're gonna go back to the wavetable and see what we've got. Just a little random riff. See if anything's salvageable in that. Woof! We missed that last bit. Alright, we're going to just delete those though, and I think that actually sounds pretty serviceable. So we're going to put that there. We're actually going to put that next to the other waves. Let's add some drums to that. Yeah, we'll use that one. Lead back in pretty well. Let's see. So I might double that up and might add one random part at the end here, but I actually really like how that second part we made loops back into the first part. And that's another thing I love about the software. It just automatically loops however big of bars you got. Sorry. I rolled away and I didn't see the record light and I was like, I'm going to have to make 40 more songs tonight. Now let's see if we can't add a little spook riff at the end and then probably call this podcast a dunzo. I've been having fun though. Might have to do these more often if there's some interest. I'm not always making music, but I always can. Should we add another instrument too to make it really spooky, really make the kids wonder? Let's add an FM synth because I like that sound already. So let's just make a synth. I actually like that. Cool. So you can't really hear it dips down there a bit for a second, but let's hear how this sounds together. So we use pop kit A for the last part, so let's use B for this part. Not that that really ever matters, but keeps it spooky. That's kind of cool. But I don't like that ending, so we're going to have to add that there. Hopefully that works out for the best. Seriously, again, I don't know why I talk like that right now, sorry. Back in the day, I used to have a thing on the keyboard where you could, like, you like set that as the riff and it would just keep playing that over and over, and it made for a lot of cool things. Unfortunately, I haven't found anything like that. I'm sure this Ableton thing is super in-depth and cool once you like program things, and I think it works with tons of software. I could probably program it to Ignite. It's just, I think I bought it when I thought I was more of a DJ than just a random kid who just wants to make music. So maybe I bought it hopeful that it was going places, and now I realize it's not. I don't know. But I wonder if we can do some cooler action. Ooh, okay, so hopefully some of those sound good. That's the biggest problem sometimes, is it sounds really good recording, and then of course it doesn't after that. It's not going to work. That's got to be there. That's got to be shifted 3. Let's see if that's even going to work. That actually works out better than expected, but we're not going to play it back to back like that. I think we're going to play that right there. Oh, it wants me to save. Hit the wrong button. Control D is how you copy and paste in this. That's a real, took me a while. Cool. So I like that. Might add one more random bass riff here at the end. Ooh, let's see if we got something there. I'm just sliding my hand on the pad, getting the, one side to the other. See, that's what I mean. Sometimes I click in wrong notes and stuff. That time just so happened, but I like that little blip at the end there. I'm going to put this one down so we know which synth bass is which. We're going to see how that works together. Cool. But if we add this too, let's see. Okay, so we're going to keep adding stuff. Blesses. Sorry, I keep forgetting I'm recording. I almost just blew that right into the microphone. That would have been fun cleanup. I think that just makes it sound, because that kind of sounds familiar, that little bass riff, doesn't it? Inspector Gadget, maybe? Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget. Alright, enough of shenaniganry. Let's add. Is this a sabotaging instrument? Have we looked that up? Yep, it's a sabotaging instrument, not quite the way I'd like it right now. Let's go back to should we just add 3 riffs of that, and let's just add, let's see if we can get spooky here. So we had something random like that. We're gonna add the other drum. Let's see how that sounds. Add those claps here at the end. Right, 2 for 3 for, let's 3 for it. Let's, where's my cymbals at? There we go. Cowbell, we need more of that. Okay. Forgot everything else was muted, that's why we didn't hear anything else. So let's put this with this drum down here and see if that makes any sense. Let's add to the bass even here and see if it makes any sense. So we want to unmute. Okay, I want that with that bass though. I wonder if this sounds any good with these last drums. Well, let's see. So I wonder if we should delete those last little drum riffs and that will sound very Philly. And that, okay. Alright, I think we got it, ladies and gents. Just a random abrupt end sometimes. It's not bad, 83 bars. I don't know if those are bars or what. I keep calling them bars. We got a file saved as this one. What are we calling this one, peeps? We got the pop kits. We got WAV. Let's call it torn ligament. Makes no sense, but I like it. Torn ligament, probably spelled wrong. We're going to save that. We are going to unload this and listen to it in full. Torn ligament. Should have spelled it mint, like minty fresh. Torn spearmint ligament. Alright, we're going to save it to the desktop. Doesn't take too long to create the audio file. Halfway done and done. Cool. We're going to continue. We're going to save again because it's going to bother us if we don't. But the site's cool. You can directly upload to SoundCloud. You can get a DAW file. I don't know about that. MIDI. I don't work with that. And you can just send it straight through email. I think I've tried doing it through SoundCloud straight off of here, and I've had a lot of complications, though. Might be user error. So I usually just, export it as WAV, put it where it needs to go. Yeah. So let's listen to Torn Ligament real quick and get this wrapped up. Inspector Gadget.
All right. It hasn't been 24 hours, but I think we're going to call that a day today. We made 3 songs today, a lot of fun. GS Spook for Gentleman Spook, Dino Zombie, and Torn Ligament. I was just going through a little bit of the process, just having some fun, just trying to be productive, get things out, get things done, and get new songs ready for the next album. Looks like we're at 13 tracks, about 35-minute album right now. It's looking good. A lot of these songs have been like 3 minutes. Right around 2 to 3 minutes is, usually there's a little more variation, but this time they've been pretty that. So yeah, whether Ghost releases a new album this year is yet to be unknown. Is that how you say that? Anyway, we'll keep you updated for sure, and this does in fact mean that no matter what, you're gonna get some Lucy City style music here in the future. So thank you for listening. If you're still listening, thank you. Don't worry about commenting. Don't worry about subscribing. Don't worry about liking. You're here, and that's all that really matters to me. So thank you for your time. Thank you for being a part of this. And until next time, I'm Brander Chang. See you later.